Yes, sir. Horses all around here for Spica. That makes you think they need shields, speed up, dive buddies. Because if you have Hecarim and you only have Hecarim diving in, then you're going to fail. So we already know what TSM want to build out here, and we want to see if Dignitas are going to take some disengage champions for themselves, or if they just want to play more early game dragon stacking.
Well, we've got a Kalista immediately picked up here for Dignitas. What goes with it? 2 Shadow Isles champions picked up so far. Nice and spooky draft. But what else does Dignitas want to prioritize? Plenty of power picks left on the table here. Still 10 seconds left to think about it. All right, Dig, what do you got for me? What's it going to be?
Some of the best combos are always my CC favorites. You know, the Alistar, the Thresh. Rell is definitely a high one up there as well, since she got introduced into the game. Looks like they're going to leave SwordArt a little bit later into the pick spans here to see if they get a little bit more information out of TSM. Support counter pick is actually really valuable right now, and they don't have to early show. But there's the Orianna. They take this away, and it feels like Dignitas are kind of daring TSM to take an early Syndra. Maybe Soligo has something, prepared for this for TSM. Honestly, though, they don't grab it here for TSM in the first round. I expected to ban it out.
Yeah, and the pickup over on the side of TSM is also a good deny for one of those Kalista buddies that you're talking about. You love to see the CC supports with her, something she can throw in there with the ulti as a big old bowling ball to knock down all the pins on the enemy team. Well, Alistar is one of those great combos. They will deny that. They will get it for themselves along with the Kaisa that you were talking about and hyping up for TSM. The response is to make sure that Dignitas can get one of their own meatball supports before the bans roll in, and it's Rell and Kalista versus Kaisa and Alistar.
Ooh, there's a lot of possibilities with Rell and Kalista that you can pull off. There's so much crowd control in this combo. It is insane because now you've got more layers. Once the Kalista throws the Rell back out, the Rell can also jump further forward, also can do the E snapback stun. There's so many different options here for engages, and you have a shockwave on top of it. So Dig are just crafting a crazy wombo combo of crowd control that they can all layer on, for these early dragon stacking style that we're kind of looking for. And the last time that Dig played TSM, they did have the Kalista, and they did get that victory. And there's the Syndra.
Worst ban. Okay, well, we have a really tragic ban on the TSM side, and over on the Dignitas ban, we have the predicted Kobe ban of saying, all right, if they're not going for the Syndra early on, it is going to be banned away. And sure enough, Dignitas are on the same wavelength with you here, sir, so that one's banned out. Gnar also taken off the table. We've been seeing this guy as a staple in the top lane. Dignitas is saying they don't want to go for a blind pick on a Gnar or use it as an answer, so just get rid of it. TSM's got one more ban to go. What will it be, TSM? There's still a couple of really powerful options here on the table. It needs to be a jungler or a top laner. Not really a whole lot of flexibility in the 3 things that Dignitas has already locked in. And that last ban will be Lilia. So double jungle focus against Dardoch from TSM.
Yeah, it's been kind of hard throwing jungle bans at Dardoch since he's played so many different champions. But he's always played something that works well with the overall team comp that they're trying to set up. It's not just random champions that he's thrown out just to get his count up for variation of champions played. The Gragas is a flex pick, so I like this hanging pick here from Dig. Easily could be Dardoch. He has had some very good Gragas games in the past in the LCS on previous teams, but FakeGod as well from the top side. He had a really strong game versus Huni last time around. It could easily take Gragas into any matchup.
Okay, we've got the PowerOfEvil Viktor. With the Syndra banned away, he will take Viktor into Orianna, so another powerful, scaling, huge AoE control mage that can contribute a lot to a team fight. Now, TSM, we do have to still see what that top laner is going to be. It has to be able to deal with the Gragas, but also flexible enough to deal with the fact that that could be a flex pick. And the answer here is Shen. How do we feel about this one?
Well, show me Gangplank. Gangplank is not on the bans right now, and Gangplank can absolutely blast the Shen. Show me the flex counter pick right now, Dig. Throw Dardoch on the Gragas. FakeGod, I know you've got this in you. Last time around, they put Huni on the Lulu, and he played the Gnar into it. Absolutely smashed the game. Carried it for Dig from the top side. Ah, do it! Yes.
Oh, baby! Oh, Oh, he called the Syndra ban. He called the Gangplank flex. What can this man not do?
Now we got to see, can FakeGod follow through? Because this matchup is so sweet for Gangplank. You have guaranteed armor shred from your barrels. Shen just gets blasted over and over. Gangplank can basically farm up grass stacks and money off this champion from the top side. Has his ultimate to be able to follow as well. Even though he doesn't have to commit the teleport to go with him. He doesn't actually have hard CC to interrupt Shen. He just tries to whittle him down, keep him under his tower, keep punishing him, and then throw his own ulti to try and mess up any cross-map plays that Shen tries to pull off. That being said, at the top of the draft, Flowers, we wanted dive buddies for Hecarim, and what better of a dive buddy than Shen? Stand United is the best feeling as you're going in on Hecarim because you get an extra shield and you know your bro is going to be in the back line with you.
Very powerful dive from these guys, especially when you consider the rest of the team, too. You got Alistar coming in there to either start it off or be right behind you. Kaisa, one of the few AD carries that just has incredible dive potential in her own right. This TSM squad, if they get ahead in this game, Dignitas will always have to be scared of that full, just everybody diving in together. But at the same time, Dignitas has plenty of tools of their own. You talked about how well Gangplank can deal with Shen. Well, Kalista and Rell will be incredibly scary if they can find a lead for themselves. So both teams look like they have plenty of playmaking opportunity. They look like they'll be explosive when they get ahead. I hope we get ourselves a bloody game to kick off week 5, Kobe.
Plus, now we get our 8 games in a row if we cut out the Samira for a loss. So
yeah, forget that one game. That one doesn't matter. We ignore that.
Just a little edit at the bottom. Mouse over Samira. She's gone for 11.4. She'll be back in the future. But yeah, so bottom side, I like your focus there because, you know, with the Gangplank into the Shen on top side, it does take away some of the possibilities that TSM were trying to combat this Kalista-Rell combo, this control on bottom side of the map. I think that Dig definitely will have a pretty clear plan down to that side. So I want to track Dardoch's jungle path early on to see if he actually can influence this lane. As you know, Aphromoo has been very good at setting up Neo for lots of very good lane statistics, including kills as well as CS differences for himself. Dardoch is going to start on his blue side, though, so it won't be level 3 super cheesy or anything like that from Dig. Commitment down bottom, and TSM also have the deep ward in on his Raptors, so they can see as he transitions over to red quadrant.
And it's not just Dardoch starting on the bottom half of the map. You can see Spica doing the same thing here with the Hecarim. So these two may find themselves around that same scuttle crab there in the top side river. We'll see how that plays out as they both go for the full clear. Nobody opting away from that furthest camp in terms of the Krugs for Spica. They just want to make sure that they're getting maximum value from these full clears here on these junglers. Meanwhile, back in the bottom lane, it's level 1, but we're not seeing any crazy level 1 aggro here. Sometimes you'll see these playmaking supports go in, drop an early ignite, and just get the lane off to a spicy start, but not quite yet here. Aphromoo is dismounted, which means he does have that snap engage if he goes for a flash play when they hit level 2 first. Okay, not gonna happen here. Okay, Huni, you doing okay? A little bit of a spicy trade from Huni up here with the level 2 up against FakeGod. The barrel on the back end doesn't find him, so Huni wins out in the trade. Doing okay here early on in this lane against the Gangplank, but things will only get more and more difficult as Gangplank gets those items, Kobe.
Yeah, a lot of your early lane phase depends on your barrel last hitting minigame. And Huni, as you can see there, he prioritized that barrel super highly, going for the taunt long distance in order to one-shot that barrel. Shen actually has pretty quick attack speed, so for the early stages, especially if you're good with it, the Shen can get those barrels pretty reliably. Nice little damage chunk here from Dardoch.
Okay, PowerOfEvil getting hurt a little bit, but no summoner spells were used from either side here, so everything's still pretty standard. We can see that with Soligo having prio over the mid lane, that means Dardoch feels comfortable going for crab control. Yes, Spica has a level up, but one level doesn't really matter when there's a whole other dude standing there helping your opponent. So Dardoch will be able to go after this one. Has the smite for the secure. Got juked by the scuttle crab. It happens to the best of us. It happens to everybody now and then. The scuttle crab's got the juke boots.
Whenever that happens in a pro game, I'm going to say, I give credit to the jungler. I'm like, you know what? They were using their F keys. They were scouting all the different lanes.
Yeah, they were just looking all over the place. It's unlucky. It's unlucky.
You gotta gather a lot of information as jungler early on for games. Oh, he's toast!
Oh, Huni went. in with the flash, taunt, and a follow-up with the first blood. It's Spica on the board, and TSM are in there.
Big play from Huni, taking advantage of the pushing wave in front of him, and FakeGod was dry here. He had, I think, one more biscuit in inventory that he actually hadn't popped, as we saw on live, but Huni just goes right in. Spica is there. After the crab was taken topside from Dardoch, maybe a little false sense of confidence there from FakeGod to be able to get that wave all the way in, and that is a critical pivot point for this matchup, for the side of TSM. Getting this kill is going to mean that Huni's also going to have a nice little experience lead, can try and get to his level 6 that much quicker, make use of some proactive Shen ultimates for teleports, and try and help his team out, pay back Spica even on possible dives.
Oh yeah, Huni getting that kill, or at least getting the assist for that. Getting a kill onto FakeGod feels good for keeping this lane from running out of control, having that Gangplank just run amok in the top side. Soligo, you can see him walking forward here, really wants to stop PowerOfEvil's back, takes a turret shot for it, and he's happy to do so. Getting those extra 7 or 8 seconds on delaying your opponent will just be all the more time he can shove out the wave. Won't be feeling like he's missing a lot here. PowerOfEvil will be able to TP back, and then Soligo can probably do the same right there after once he runs out of mana. Never mind, he already used his teleport. Now down to the bottom side, the 2v2. SwordArt's here on the front line, but the damage down on Neo means he flashes away, getting to the safety of his jungler. Neo still burning away. Follow-up damage shows up as Dardoch arrives into the fight. Neo so critically close to death. Look at how aggressive, lost his posturing. He knows Neo has no summoner spells left, but he can't go in for any sort of a play right now. But man, that was way too close for comfort.
Yeah, and close is the key word right there, Flowers. Neo hopping right next to SwordArt. That is very aggro. Allows SwordArt to get the E-stun auto off on him. Just pops the Ignite. Almost gets the counter kill. Both summoners blown off of Lost, plus the Ignite from Aphromoo. That is a huge summoner spell victory for TSM on the bottom side. And this is supposed to be, this aggressive Kalista Rell combination that is going to get them bottom side priority, going to set themselves up for dragon stacking. But with some pretty good outplays thus far by TSM, they have really taken a hold of this early game.
Spica in the enemy jungle, immediately finding Dardoch, going in for some quick damage and stealing away the chicken camp to boot. Doesn't look like Dardoch wants to stick around and try to contest this one at all, so just free money for Spica, having a great time here in the jungle. Getting that early sheen, just 700 gold when you have a spammable spell, is such a huge amount of offensive power in any sort of extended trade, and even for just the quick burst off of the one spell cast, makes it very difficult for Dardoch to try to stand and fight him there, especially when his mid laner is down to 300 HP. Now Dardoch's running away, tries to find a little bit of damage back here. A nice Gangplank ulti going to turn the fight around, but with Shen coming in, TSM are looking to go even further in. Shockwave prevents Huni from finding anything else. Dardoch continuing to go forward now, trying to still look for the chance to make a play out of this. So many resources invested from both sides as multiple players rotate over. It is a 9-man party in the bottom half of the river, and the one dude who didn't attend sent a present in the form of his ulti. Everybody is committed to this, but nobody is dead.
Yeah, and the dude who didn't attend, he doesn't care that he didn't go to that party. He's actually an introvert. He loves partying by himself. He's up here farming gold. He's Gangplank. He's just counting his money up here. Looking to invest in some Bitcoin. He can just send his ultimate off down
money
bottom.
I saved.
Exactly.
Not going to the club.
You guys, you're racking up those tabs. Meanwhile, Gangplank's up there partying on the top side, just farming up gold. But that's what you want. That's one of the big things here, with Gangplank into Shen. If you can just answer ult for ult, your team is then able to disengage back off. The Shen doesn't get anything down there. He actually had to leave, so gets a nice back here for FakeGod. And after the first blood kill for the side of TSM with Huni and Spica combining for it, that is definitely some much needed, a little bit of love there for FakeGod.
All right, bottom side, we're going to get a 2v2 here again. SwordArt and Lost. Lost very close to level 6 here in the Kaisa. Based on the posturing we saw from him earlier, you know how aggressively he wants to be able to play this champion. Up here on the top side, Rift Herald is being taken by the side of TSM. Nobody from Dignitas even in the neighborhood. Means this one should go over nice and easy to those guys. You can see it in Spica's inventory now. We'll have the full 4 minutes to use that before plates fall to get extra money for it. If we're looking at the plates on the Dignitas side, it's still 5 alive in every single lane. So none of those exactly presenting an opportunity here for some huge value with a complete turret take just yet. But a lot can change in League of Legends over the course of 3 or 4 minutes, so we'll keep an eye on where that gets dropped off. Currently, though, you can see some control wards in the bottom side of the river for the side of Dignitas, keeping some eyes on that, making sure Soligo always has one side of mid lane to play to and feel safe. And for Dardoch, we're still looking to see him get involved, Kobe. We are 9 minutes into the game. He is level 6, but still 0-0-0.
Yeah, he's been involved, but it's mostly like, give him a little belly bump, proc my phase rush, and run away.
Just chilling, yeah.
Type of involvement. Now that he's level 6 here, though, on the Gragas, this is where you can, have a really big impact with your bottom lane with Neo and Aphromoo. They should be able to lock somebody down. The problem is that SwordArt has been so good so far for TSM. I want to point out in that last little river fight, part of the reason that they got the big interrupt there was the timing for Alistar Q interrupting Rell engage for the crash down. SwordArt was able to get him as he's jumping through the air, so no crash down, no opportunity there for Dig to be able to pull off that combo. And now that Alistar is level 6, SwordArt is happy to be on the front lines for TSM. Here's that Dragon Force. It's coming a little bit later than we were looking for Dig, but that's due to the kind of outplays that TSM had early on in the game.
Dignitas going after the Drake. Plenty of spears already in there. Spica coming around looking for the steal, but he won't be able to find it. Drake already secured by the side of Dig, but Neo's in some trouble. Immediately killed off. Spica grabbing the kill. Aphromoo's your next target, and TSM is happy to find 2 kills to punish this early Cloud Drake.
And that is so big for TSM. They don't actually care a whole lot about giving over the first dragon. Stacking is still pretty far away. They're so hyper-focused on the fight rather than the objective here. And that is what you need to do for First Dragon. They dive right in onto Neo. Perfect initiation there from Spica plus Huni. Shen Hecarim combination dive buddies we're looking for. Working out perfectly there. They CC him right down to 0. Able to pick off that kill. And critically, PowerOfEvil got in on it. The changes to Viktor, where you get your Hex Core upgrades from kills and assists, from takedowns, added this different scaling factor to Viktor. Whereas before, you had to get a certain amount of money. You have to farm up minions, you have to farm up kills that way. But now, you can actually accelerate it. And if you fight around Viktor early on and actually win the fights and get kills and assists on him, it really does snowball so much more than the previous iteration, because he doesn't actually have to spend the gold to get those upgrades, just has to get takedown credit.
Big 3-man play coming in the mid lane. Soligo's trying to get away, goes for a nice shockwave that lands onto 2, and with Dardoch showing up, Soligo gets away.
Yeah, he was really happy about that one. I think the knockback from Spica's E went through right as the knockback from Shockwave went off, so he still got the nice little bump to safety there. Even though it was a good play started out where SwordArt was able to get him after the flash. Soligo very happy to escape this 3-person party towards mid.
Okay, nobody's going to really be doing much else here as Aphromoo and SwordArt both work their way back down towards the river. Now, Aphromoo and Neo, we were talking about how Aphromoo's been doing some good work for the side of Dignitas. He's been enabling Neo, but so far here in this game, haven't seen a lot out of the bottom lane for Dignitas just yet. And as I say it, Aphromoo goes in to make the play, and PowerOfEvil's down. Caster Curse on priority delivery here as Dignitas get themselves on the board for the first time.
How many times have you seen a laner die trying to get share of the Shelly plate money flowers? I feel like as a jungler, that's one of the most frequent ways I have baited my teammates is popping Shelly, and they're like, yeah, let me get a share of that plate money. Thank you very much. But PowerOfEvil standing right up there. Nice engage from Aphromoo. Punishes him. They get the kill immediately. You are looking flowers for some follow-up from Dardoch. He's here. He's clearing a ward, so PoE knows. And he went up to go auto to make sure he got that plate credit. Does get also the plate credit from Shelly, so he did get credit for all 3, but cost him his life.
All right, TSM, they've still got themselves about a 1,000 gold lead. Turret plating is going to fall in 30 seconds. Dignitas trying to make sure they don't lose any extra plates until then. You can see TSM still has all 5 mid, all 5 bottom. I can't see past Shen's big old head there in the top lane to see how many plates is still strapped on up there. If anything, I would expect that might be the lane that's lost a couple with Gangplank's control over that 1v1 matchup. And yes, more than a couple, down to only having just barely 2 remaining with that second to last one almost evaporating. And there we go. Turret plating has fallen. Still, that 1,000 gold is all that's separating the two squads. So TSM's had a nice early game so far. Dignitas not out of it by any means. Essence Reaver already done for FakeGod. Lots of Gangplanks. Love to rush this item. Very powerful crit plus Sheen proc. It's just what the doctor ordered here for GP. But the next Drake is spawning in 1 minute, Kobe. And I'm interested to see if TSM wants to fight for it.
Yeah, I think they certainly will. While FakeGod's farming is going quite nicely for them, the kills have been going on to the Hecarim, where TSM want it. More power in their dive. This is focusing more money for the Divine Sunder completion already for Spica. So that's going to make Neo's life pretty difficult. You know, Kalista, level 8 right now, still a little bit behind, lost in this area. Going to get dove with a Hecarim Shen, and it is really, really hard to disengage that. So you look at Dardoch, you look at Aphromoo with their you know, disengage CC to be able to use. Currently, SwordArt running a screen here for Spica to finish up this Rift Herald, and if you look at the minimap and you see Lost transitioning over towards mid, that should be Dig giving it up, unless Soligo...
Ooh. Okay, Soligo went for it. He didn't hit the shockwave, but he still keeps going looking for the play. Needs a little bit more damage, but Stand United will deny the opportunity for the solo kill. Soligo down to a couple hundred HP in his own right, has to run away. TSM using the power of the Stand United to make sure Lost doesn't fall there, but he still had to use his heal.
This should be tempo for Dignitas. They've got teleport on Soligo, so that's a really good trade by him, trading his ultimate for the Shen Stand United. Now TSM don't have that for the Dragon. They do have the Rift Herald, though, which will one-shot the tower.
Spica forced to defensively ult over the wall. That is a huge team fight cooldown, not ready for TSM now. Matching 1-for-1 with that big shockwave, still not available yet here for Dignitas. But with the enemy jungler hurt and without an ulti, Dignitas sees the opportunity to go for the Drake. There is no contest from the side of TSM, and the situation works out for Dig, so they can get their second Drake uncontested.
Yeah, a little game of resources. Dignitas here slowly whittle down. They take off the Lost ultimate, the Shen ultimate, and the Spica ultimate. That basically means there's no weapons left for TSM to fight that dragon. So by elimination there, they're able to get the dragon. Looks like a retake on this tower should be pretty easy for TSM, but a slight little zoning there for Dig.
Okay, TSM trying to move down here. Spica's ready to go. Still no ulti on Hecarim, so they're just going to chase their opponents out. Maintain control over their side of the river, draw those battle lines with a control ward, but there is no offensive plays to be made, not without that killer instinct, not without that onslaught of shadows. FakeGod continuing to push up here in the top side, demolish proc just about ready to go, sets down the barrel, immediately knocks over the turret, and that will bring Dignitas back within 200 gold of TSM here in this game. And considering the combat power they have out of the Drakes they've taken so far, this game's pretty dead even, Kobe.
Certainly looks the case here as far as the gold. Let's take a look at the Dragon setup. 3 minutes, 50 seconds down the line. It's actually looking like pretty quick stacking for Dig. If they're once again able to take down some of these cooldowns from TSM in order to set it up, this would put a huge amount of pressure on them, especially with how well FakeGod's been farming. They do have really good side presence with him. He can push out on the side wave. His teleport is going to be ready for it. As long as he doesn't have to blow it here with some sort of, pincer movement from TSM in the next 3 minutes, it should be a pretty good setup for them.
PowerOfEvil on the Viktor, has a Liandry's Torment, Tear still stacking up, Sorcerer's Shoes completed, lots of AoE damage potential coming out from this guy here in the team fights. You can see the Kim tank completed for Huni as well. This item is just being built on pretty much everybody who's a meatball these days. This item is incredibly powerful. If you can build it, it's generally not a terrible idea to get that thing up and running, and it just provides so much playmaking opportunity. Let's see if it results in anything here now. They immediately taunt FakeGod with a face check, trying to get himself away, but TSM's got too much firepower, and PowerOfEvil gets his second kill of the game.
Really good little brush play there from TSM. Surprise, FakeGod, you're going down. He doesn't have to blow his teleport, though, so Dig still can set up for the Dragon 2.5 minutes. Just a nice chunk of gold here for TSM, and PoE with his teleport on top side does get to push out as well, regardless of Dig moving in and getting vision deep behind this Dragon pit, setting up for Dragon number 3. I don't think they can actually pull off any sort of dive, with FakeGod dead still.
Oh, we're going from a dive right about now. Lost eating a lot of damage, getting himself away. Beautiful counterattack coming out from Spica. Dignitas health bars are being decimated. Neo's the first one to fall with Spica going on a killing spree. The remaining 2 players thrown up into the air by SwordArt, and Huni is in there for more. Spica jumps in, and it's horse-on-horse combat. Double kill for the jungler, and TSM mops him up.
All right, Flowers, I stand by my previous statement. They cannot go for a dive here while FakeGod's still dead. They do it anyway, and guess what? Spica here, he was waiting the whole time. It's a good bait by Lost, and he does have to use his ult and his flash to disengage. But look at this timing on TSM. They were waiting for this 100%.
Yep.
Instant Shen ultimate, Spica with the engage, they just clean everybody up. And even though FakeGod spawns a couple seconds after they started the dive to be able to throw his ultimate in there, no time to teleport, and the damage is done with the commitment under tower. What a good little counter move here from TSM. And that comes after their brush camp on top side. They were effectively able to use the early advantage or earlier advantage that they got with their top side surprise brush play on a counter play here on the bottom side for Dig, because they rushed it a little bit too quickly.
All right, Dignitas, that was not the move they needed as we're approaching this third Drake. 35 seconds until that one's alive. Dig now 3,000 gold behind. TSM feeling pretty good about the way that botched dive went. 4-0-2 on Spica's Hecarim. 6 out of 7 kill participation. The only person that's been a part of all 7 is Huni on the Shen. Up here in a lane that he was counterpicked, in a lane that he was specifically supposed to have a difficult time in. The man has been a part of all the big moves that TSM is making. We got the good Huni here today. TSM fans are ecstatic about the coin coming up heads. And Huni's making some plays. 180 versus 199. He's about 3 waves behind. But considering a 106 scoreline versus 020, you take that every single time. Take that trade any day of the weekend and in a Y. Now the Mountain Drake is up. Dignitas is moving in. They've already got 2-0 here on that count. We'll see if they can secure the third. TSM not willing to give this one away. Huni has Stand United or Teleport, whichever way he wants to enter the fight. Will be up to him. Currently putting in work on that top lane tier 1 as Dignitas has the Drake aggroed. Going after it, has it down to 2,500 HP. Spica coming around from the side. Drake already going to be secured. Dignitas gets it, and they get out. They just walk away. That's it.
I really want to hear those comms, Flowers. Anytime we have a team grouping up around the dragon with 4 people, okay, well, let's wait about this blue buff. Maybe they have maybe they go for the engage now. With the Shen Stand United ready, it made it look as if they were either going to go for the fight or at least attempt the steal right as they charge in. But they decide to make the call in the end there with the comms to just continue split pushing on top side. And hey, Huni, finish off that top outer turret. It is Dragon number 3. We know we're playing with fire here, and it is getting to Soul Point next. But they felt like they'll have a better setup next time around. I mean, we can look after and we'll review once we get to the next Dragon whether or not that's true. But interesting little decision there from TSM. They very clearly made the call. Keep Huni topside. Nobody made a move, to go attempt for the steal or the fight there.
All right, TSM still having that lead, building up to 4,000 gold, but the Soul Point now in the possession of Dignitas. One more Drake, and Mountain Soul will add a ton of value immediately here for the Dignitas squad, particularly for those frontliners. Rell being able to be that much tankier. You can see Dardoch, yes, he doesn't have an incredibly tanky build just in his itemization. It is rather focused on offense, so just having that extra shield will help him to engage more easily without being immediately killed right after. But with the gold still ballooning in TSM's favor, Dignitas must make sure that they're taking good fights. They're not overforcing things. That dive in the bottom lane underneath the tier 1, very much an unforced error. Neo now picking up the Runaan's Hurricane, so 2 items plus boots completed for him. SwordArt trying to drop some vision down here in the top side, but has been found out by 3 enemy players. Stand United coming in, looking to keep him alive. Huni has arrived, Spica over the wall, going after Soligo. Follow-up coming in from the Kaisa. Soligo getting away, won't be able to survive. Dardoch looks for a little bit more. Neo wants to throw out his support, and Aphromoo has found the enemy AD carry with the cast coming in. They found Lost. The boy is gone, and SwordArt's the next target. Dardoch's gonna fall with TSM, turning the aggro right back around. FakeGod running away, staying alive here with a shield for a moment, but the man is down to 200. Aphromoo with a re-engage. Neo coming around from the side. Nice taunt showing up from Huni. You got Aphromoo about to drop. Neo does not have the damage to get one in return, and TSM will take the fight 3 for 2.
Quite a close little scrap there. It does leave TSM with the map control to finish up a lot of the work on this vision around the backside of Baron, and could set them up for a consecutive pick on this side. But SwordArt immediately makes the call. Shen, on me now. And Spica follows Soligo over. Instead of focusing and trying to take that support kill, they are able to dive Soligo, but it does cost Lost his positioning. By using Kaisa ultimate to follow in there, it then means it's a trade kill onto Lost, and this is where it gets dicey. SwordArt is stuck in the 2v2 with Neo and Aphromoo, where they take him down. Meanwhile, PoE finishes up the extra kill here for TSM, and Aphro turning towards the kill here, goes for the initiation, but Huni taunting right in onto Neo takes that pressure off the backline and allows them to actually kill Aphromoo, for his counter engage there, and set themselves up with this positioning here. The aftermath of that fight allows TSM more concrete vision here around the backside of Baron, and is forced Dig into this scared positioning, just trying to fight for every little inch leading up to that Baron. And this could easily be sneaked by TSM. They just keep side pressure here down on bottom side with Huni. He's got teleport and stand united, easily able to answer map pressure, and they've got plenty of healing on Spica here, and lost damage, so you can bait this Baron over and over. Their turn is also very good, so keep your eyes on SwordArt and his flank position. If he gets behind the vision checking here from Dig, they could easily just turn.
Baron down to half HP. Dignitas still looking for a way in with the Chaos Storm keeping them away. Down to 3,500 now with the TP showing up. Soligo has joined the fight. Baron will be abandoned. PowerOfEvil down to 25% HP. They will fully disengage. TSM really wanted to go after that, but their health bars are now hurting, and the Drake is alive here in 20 seconds.
This is going to be the critical moment. 15 seconds left on it. Huni's heading down from the river. A lot of vision invested up towards the backside of Baron, but now they're trying to move it down here towards this last dragon. PoE does have teleport, uses it right out back onto the field, and they've got all of their ultimates save for SwordArt left here on the side of TSM. So that Alistar will be very squishy for this team fight. Dignitas can try and take advantage.
The other thing that TSM doesn't have is PowerOfEvil's big AoE ulti. That is a huge part of the cannons. It is their offensive capability. Spica looking for the opportunity here on the flank with Dardoch continuing the chase, able to take out SwordArt. Huni's going to buy some time. Dardoch doing the same. Huni getting back to TSM. Dardoch runs away with a nice disengage, but Gale Force is one hell of an item. Lost keeps up, gets the execution damage, takes him out. 4-4 here on the map. PowerOfEvil still about 10 seconds away from having the Chaos Storm ready to fire. He'll push out the mid wave. Aphromoo goes for the play onto Huni, but he will not find it. Drake aggroed up by Neo. Remember that Dignitas does not have their jungler alive. That is the critical difference in who is dead on either side. And considering Dardoch is still out of the picture for another 11 seconds, TSM will take the Drake and stop the stack.
Quick hands there from Huni, gives Aphromoo the thumbs up too as he just dashes away from the Rell combo. Ultimate burns. Flowers. Alistar without an ultimate is just so squishy. Look at this turn, like we are looking for. Dardoch doesn't hesitate. Right in onto SwordArt. He can't really play frontline that effectively here with the split that TSM are. And Dardoch finishes him off. TSM do use Lost ultimate here to come get counter initiation onto him, and they do kill off the jungler, forcing them off this dragon. But that's definitely going to be one thing that TSM have to keep their eyes on. So they were able to stop Dragon Soul attempt number 1 from Dignitas.
And now you've only got to stop it 3 more times if the game goes on that long. gold lead still remaining around the same spot. Still 4,000 or 5,000-ish advantage for TSM. They keep winning out of the fights. And now that we've got a little bit of downtime, I do want to talk about that damage graph that popped up a little while ago. We didn't get to address it, but it was far and away PowerOfEvil, the biggest output of damage on TSM's squad. When he's able to join these fights slightly delayed after Dignitas have already used a lot of their big spells and those big cooldowns, and he can just run amok, shooting lasers and shields and everything else all over the place. He can cause so much damage in these team fights, and without proper focus on him, Dignitas will be hard-pressed to compete with that kind of damage. You've got a Kalista. This is not a champion that scales into late game 6-item OMG, WTF barbecue, just delete the whole team. It doesn't work. Orianna is also a champion. You got to hit those big ultis on multiple people if you want to have that kind of performance. And Viktor just has this long-range AoE all over the place. PowerOfEvil will be huge. And whether or not he survives and has excellent positioning will tell a lot about these upcoming team fights.
Yeah, and I really love the point about Kalista too, because it's so hard for Kalista to have good positioning versus a Viktor. Viktor range is so difficult for Kalista to try and fight around. So you also don't get those hero moments where, you know, Kalista, if she had a bunch of kills early, you know, if this is a legendary Kalista, then you get the, you know, life stealing off 3 members, hopping around, being able to, you know, soak damage and life steal tank with a lot of your teammates setting you up with CC. That's not the case here. This is a level 16 Viktor that is going to blast Neo off the face of Summoner's Rift before he even gets close with the range advantage that he does have.
Okay, 2 minutes till Drake's Soul comes up again. No minutes till Baron's alive. We can go for Baron at any point, my friends, but
Baron,
who wants
currently
to
alive.
make the call? Who wants to make the call here? TSM already gave it the attempt the one time. They got it down to 25% and then had to bail. Of course, they also did that really close to the dragon spawn to create extra pressure on their opponents for whether or not they wanted to commit. Currently, TSM has all of their bodies here in the top side, except for Huni, whose job is to eternally be on the other end of the map, causing problems, creating pressure, and forcing an answer from Dignitas. Now, Huni is level 17 compared to the 15 of FakeGod. A lot of damage coming down here onto Aphromoo, who will be taken nearly dead, but not all the way. Never mind, though, it's Dardoch getting popped for free. Enemy jungler down. Kobe, you smell that? It smells like Baron to me.
That's the barbecue flowers. PoE's the grill master. He's cooking up anybody he sees. Goes right in on the Rell, laser, full combo, just throws his ult out with people at 50% health. Baron also dropping below 50. This one's going quick. Can FakeGod do it with Barrel Chain?
Okay, nice near pop one to SwordArt. FakeGod still looking to maybe take him down with a little bit more damage, but he heals up. The Baron is secured. Oh my goodness, TSM giving the chase going too. Lost goes in for the damage. Acathian Rain, not quite enough. FakeGod barely hobbles away, but it's Baron over to TSM, and the Drake is still spawning in 50 seconds.
Yeah, they let him live so that he could tell the rest of the teams fighting them, hey, we got Baron and we're coming back for your base quick. Because with this Baron, TSM should be unstoppable. This greatly accelerates the split pushing. You just teleport Shen right back out to the side lane. The 4-member squad can go right up middle here. They can complete the siege. As you said, with the short range of Kalista, she has a hard time dealing with it. It's basically just Orianna trying to wave clear mid, and Gangplank trying to use barrel chains to keep the Shen Baroned up minions off of top side. Well, they actually make a transition with everybody down to bottom. One of the things that TSM have done with the majority of their Barons is try and use all 3 waves, syncing up the timing so they can get them all to crash you know, on the inhibitor towers at the same time. It's kind of difficult because mid lane obviously is a straight shot, so it's shorter and the minions go quicker, and you have to delay a little bit on the...
You gotta use math, triangles and stuff.
Yeah, trigonometry.
Yeah. The triangle stuff. Sin, cost, hand, all that. These aren't actually words, they're abbreviations. Learned that one back a long time ago, and I mostly forgot it until now. But hey, we got the Drake spawn. We got Dignitas moving in. Remember, they're 1 Drake away here from a Mountain Soul. TSM want to stop it, and they're up about 6,000 gold, so you know they can. Stand United coming in. Spica leading the charge. SwordArt going in 2 with FakeGod knocked up into the air. Huni's in the back line, surrounded by 4. The damage is coming down with Dardoch buying the time. Huni gets over the wall with a shutdown for Aphromoo's Ignite. Dignitas take 1 body off the fight. Aphromoo's going right back in, looking for PowerOfEvil, but the man's already dead now. Neo's still sticking around, looking to go after the Drake. It's going to be taken away by Dignitas with Lost now looking to stand and fight, but the boy's going to be taken down. Credit over to FakeGod. TSM, they lose the fight 1 for 2, and they lose the Mountain Soul. This is exactly what Dignitas needed to stay in this game.
Yeah, and that's exactly why people start to get real sweaty and panic when you give over the 3rd dragon, because even if you have a gold lead, you have a healthy team fight, you have map control. If you make one mistake later in the game, and look at this engage, they engage so deeply into the Dignitas jungle that TSM DPS can't actually follow. PoE did get his ultimate off into that backline squad, but he can't step up or he gets shot. And so Huni going down there was a total collapse for TSM. Lost tries to snipe FakeGod in the back, but going in with his ultimate by himself, the dive buddies have already pulled off all of the resources for TSM spent, and that means Dig, they slingshot right back into it here. Mountain Soul gained plus the team fight victory. FakeGod doing work in that team fight. Plenty of damage being pumped out here by him, and really giving credit to Dignitas for saving counter pick for FakeGod. He has really been stepping up on the LCS stage for this team. This is one of the things you like to see, Flowers, where guys in the NALCS given another chance here. You know, after popping in and out of the 100 Thieves starting lineup, you know, him and Soligo both been pulling their weight.
Yeah, you love seeing the new names, the younger bloods step up and really earn their spot here on the big stage. All I'm saying is, Freaks tier list justified? Freaks tier list justified? Is this our
No. Whoa,
is this our hard
whoa.
stats? Okay, let's not jump to no conclusions. My bad there, brother.
Stats are meant to inform, and let's get right back to the gameplay here, because Dignitas, they're looking at a flank.
I love how quickly this is turning into another fight. We got Aphromoo here with the front line. Nice counterattack coming in. Lost is already down. A huge ulti coming out of Soligo to kill the enemy AD carry. PowerOfEvil's gonna die now next. TSM is still trying to fight, but they got no guns left on the tank. It's a big hunk of metal, and the thing lost in shreds. Dignitas with a 4-for-0, about to make it 5. TSM have committed an incredible throw here in this game, and Dignitas send it straight down mid with a Bud Light ace.
Are you kidding me, Flowers? Dignitas for another game versus TSM. They are doing it. They are coming back in this one. Dardoch looking to get another victory versus his old team. They're going to be able to run it straight to the Nexus.
Dardoch, you better not be eating any candy or sugar for the rest of the day, because this win has got to taste so sweet. It is your maximum daily limit. Dignitas going after the Nexus itself. Lost is back alive, but not for long. GG, well played. Dignitas takes down TSM.
Dignitas 2-0 versus TSM in 2021 LCS Spring Split. Laughing again. What a joy to watch this team. They're always so happy after they win as well. Let's go with the Francis as well. Neo popping off too. And they will also tie now TSM in the standing.
Yes.
Moving straight up there.
They have the tiebreaker against them with the 2-0 head-to-head. This is what the desk was talking about. This is the point that Freak brought up. This game lends itself towards a win, meaning a lot for Dignitas going into the playoff bracket. Just because it means a chance to avoid Cloud9. It means the best possible seeding. For Dignitas, this is a big win, especially considering that game was a 7,000 gold deficit at some point. That's a massive hill to have to climb up. But a couple of really good fights, some big mistakes from TSM, proper punish from Dig, and they get the win.
Huge from them. Dignitas, you know, fielding that North American roster, really outperforming everybody's expectations for them this spring. It's just so nice to see them all being fulfilled. You know, Aphromoo back on top, baby. It is.
Support is so easy, dude.
We went from season 1 to season 11 in a blink of an eye, and he's still clapping.
Well, Dignitas are feeling happy about that win. It is time for us to step away here for a moment. But when we return,